So, Johnny, what's outside that's so interesting?
Christ, Anna, do you always sneak up on people like that?
Sneak up? Been calling your name out for the past 5 minutes, and all you've done is sat alone at this table and stared at the window like you just stepped out of the bathysphere.
Sorry, I was just thinking about work.
Is your boss getting to you again?
I just don't see where he's coming from. It's like he's afraid of Ryan.
Have you thought about setting up your own newspaper? You wouldn't have to put up with Hoffner then.
I have, actually, but until I find roughly $1,000 to pay for the printing press, all I can do is bash my head against Winston every day.
Ouch. You could look for an investor, that's how I started.
But then I still wouldn't be free to publish what I wanted to. I'd always have them breathing down my neck.
I'll tell you what, I'll ask around. See if I can scare up just a little bit of cash or something. By the way, are you coming to my show later?
Of course.
And will I get another glowing review?
That depends. Is it better than Cohen's work?
Why even ask?
Yeah. I'll catch up with you after the show. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think the man I'm here to meet just walked in.
You mean the one standing at the door in a very ill-fitting suit?
That's him. Now get going before you scare him away.
Goodbye, Johnny. Take care.
Are you Johnathan Thompson?
The one and only. By the way, when you're done drawing attention to yourself, feel free to sit down next to me and pretend you're asking me if Ryan's Raiders won today's game.
Whatever you say, boss. I ain't done this before.
I thought as much when you first chose this place. Not exactly inconspicuous for someone who works in Neptune's bounty.
How could you tell that?
The smell.
Yeah, well...
Here's some more advice. Firstly, don't raise your voice. Secondly, just tell me what you need to, then get out of here.
Sure thing. It's about that guy who killed himself. I know everyone says he got the weapon smuggled down here, but I can tell you that it isn't true.
Really? That's believable. You smuggle everything else but not guns because you're just such nice people.
No, look, we do smuggle guns, but we don't touch the one he used.
You keep records now, do you? You must be one hell of an organised bunch of smugglers to do that.
We know roughly what we brought in, what we didn't. What he did wasn't our fault.
Yeah, right. You're just trying to shift the blame and make me rewrite my article.
No, I've told you what I know. We had nothing to do with this. If you don't want to print that, then just forget I was ever here.
Bye then. He almost sounded like he believed it.
Mr. Thompson, is it?
Can't a man have dinner on his own for a minute?
Sorry to disturb you, sir. I'm part of Rapture Security.
Good for you.
Do you know who the man you were just talking to is?
Nope.
He works for Fontaine Fishery, and we have reason to believe he is part of a smuggling ring you talk about in your last article.
Is that so? Wow. I wish I'd known. I'd have asked him for an interview, or I could pay him to bring down some decent food.
That would be breaking the law, Mr. Thompson.
Well, it's a good thing that I didn't know he was a smuggler then, isn't it?
You do know that the penalty if you are caught attempting to smuggle, or with smuggled goods, will be severe.
Really? And here I was thinking that I'd just get a slap on the wrist by Ryan.
I'm just saying that if you were caught trying to smuggle items into Rapture, then some very bad things will happen to you.
Mister, you know I'm a reporter for the Rapture Tribune, so if you want to try and intimidate me, you're more than welcome, but don't expect a glowing review.
I'm just saying, perhaps some things are best left alone. Good day, Mr. Thompson.
Morning, Winston. How's things in Utopia today?
Close the door and take a seat, would you?
What? Why? Has Cohen complained about my reviews yet again? You'd have thought the guy would have realised by now that we're not the reason he only fills half his theatre.
No, Johnny, it's not that. I agree with you on that one.
Great, so what's the problem? You're not getting rid of Karen, are you? I know that I can type without her, but it's slow and...
No. I understand that you were wounded in the war, and I'm prepared to help you as long as your articles are good. Ryan called me into his office today, only 5 minutes after the latest issues had hit the stand.
I didn't realise he was a fan.
He isn't anymore.
Oh, come on. Was he really that upset by my article?
Did you think he was going to be happy about it? That he was going to call me in just to pat me on the back and tell me what a good editor I've been?
Well, no, but I at least expected him to stick to his artist will never fear the censor crap he forced down our throats on the way down here.
You're not an artist, you're a reporter. And there's a difference between artistic freedom to express oneself and abusing that freedom to lie about it.
Lie? Where did I ever lie?
The headline!
It's a tax. I don't care what Ryan calls it, and I don't care what you call it. Ryan's the ruler down here, and it's taxation.
Listen, Ryan explained the whole thing to me. He needs this money to maintain the oxygen supply system, that's all. Without it, we'd all suffocate. Do you want that? Everyone who uses air has to pay for it. What's so unfair about that?
Nothing, but the least Ryan can do is call it the right thing.
So you're writing articles bad-mouthing Ryan because he uses the wrong terminology? Got to get your priorities right. I can't afford to have Ryan jumping on me over every article you write. Your next one better not piss Ryan off.
Right, yeah. Whoever heard of freedom of the press anyway? It's such an overrated concept.
Johnny, get some fresh air, clear your head, then come back with a nice friendly article that I can publish without losing any sleep over.
Fresh air? Does Ryan charge extra for that?
Just go.
The play's not opening for another 10 hours if you want tickets. Oh, hey Johnny. Are you supposed to be at work?
Nah. Winston told me I needed to clear my head.
It's that bad, huh?
I don't understand him. He's been great to me so far, but whenever I try to push the boat out a little, it sinks like a brick.
Just give him time to calm down. Can you do me a favour and hold this ladder for me? I have to adjust that spotlight.
Sure thing. Don't you have a crew to do this sort of thing for you?
I'm not rich yet. If I could afford a crew, I could afford to be in Fort Frolic and not this place.
Why would you want that? I mean, sure, the footlight's a little small, but it's still a good place, and I heard Barker's fairly light on the rent.
It was a good place. Back when Rapture was still taking in new citizens, everyone used to come through here, and this would be one of the first things they saw. Now that Ryan's even stopped us from going to the surface, it's not quite as popular.
Ryan's done what?
Ah, it's nothing. Me and a few others had this crazy notion we'd like to see the sun and breathe proper air, so we asked Ryan if we could take a trip up to the lighthouse. It's not much of a beach, I know, but we thought it would be nice.
And Ryan didn't allow it?
Of course not. He said it was too much of a risk. Apparently a lighthouse in the middle of the ocean doesn't attract attention. But stick a couple of deck chairs on it and suddenly it's suspicious.
He really said that?
Not in so many words, no.
Do you have a quote, though?
Putting your journalist hat back on then. Hoffner won't want to publish a story about this.
Why not? I know a fair few people that would love a short trip to the surface. You could set it up as a legitimate business, and Ryan's trying to stop that.
Still.
Come on, Anna, what's the risk to you?
It's not the risk to me that I'm worried about. He could fire you at any moment, and then what would you do?
I'll think of something. Come on, Anna, give me a decent quote.
I've known you for 2 years now, and I don't want to see you sabotage yourself again.
When have I ever sabotaged myself?
When you did that interview with Steinman, all you did was question why I was willing to charge so much to give life-saving surgery.
I wrote the truth.
You wrote that Steinman made a living off the misfortune and misery of others. I'm still surprised that Winston didn't fire you then and there.
Fine, don't give me a quote. I'll find someone else, or something else to write about.
Something that won't get you fired?
I'll write the truth. It's always as simple as that.
Why is that so important to you, Johnny?
It's my job.
It's also Winston's.
He's a hack who's in it for the money. I'm better than that.
Okay, you win, Johnny. I'll give you a quote.